Hi guys, in this video we're going to be painting a very pretty rainbow. So just make sure you have your brushes out. I've got a couple sizes here, maybe 3, we'll see what we need. My jar of water to clean my brushes out. I have a towel to dry my brushes off. And then of course I have my mixing plate with my colors on it. I've got 5 different colors: red, orange, turquoise, blue, and white. So I'm going to start just right over on this side. I'm just going to give this little piece here a quick even coat of just white paint. This side is where the sun is going to be, and that fills in most of that area. So we just want to give it something to coat the canvas so we don't have any like blank canvas showing. I know it's already white, but the paint is like a semi-gloss, so you can actually see it areas that aren't painted because it's flat, like a matte finish. So just give this area a quick once over with some white. No globs, just nice even. And then we'll do this background spot. It's gonna be like just a light sky color. So I'm gonna start with just white paint on my brush. Brush that on, and I am moving quite quickly just because I want this paint to stay wet. That way, when I put like the blues on, it's going to blend nice and easy. So I'm quickly just getting some white paint on there. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be blending the blues on. I'm just gonna start with a little bit of this turquoise color, just little bits at a time. You can always put on more. And I'm just gonna start at this bottom part and just start brushing upward. Just smooth it all out. You see how tiny bit of paint is actually filling in this whole area. So I've got the turquoise blended on. And I want to add just a tiny bit of blue. And this blue color is a very strong color, so it takes just the tiniest amount. So I'm just going to get a little bit on my brush. I'm not cleaning it out. And I'll start up here. See how bright that is? And I'm just going to kind of blend it down so the top is more blue and the bottom is more of the turquoise. And it's just back and forth with your brush. If you want to get some more turquoise on, feel free. This can be however you want. It's the sky, so I mean it can be a little darker, it could be lighter, just whatever you prefer. So now that I have this part done, I'm just gonna start working on the rainbow. And I'm gonna start over here with the red, and then I'll work my way across with all the colors. So I'll do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. I'm gonna switch to my medium or smaller brush, whatever you have. And this first stripe will be red. So I'll go right along the line. Take your time, try to get your stripes even. As you work towards the bottom, as you see, it's wider. So our stripe will actually get a little bit wider as we come down. Just kind of focusing on getting the outside edge on for now. Just try your best to make it nice and even. And it's not going to be perfect, it's a painting. So I have it pretty much the same size all the way. I'm just going to widen the bottom up a little. I'll just start over here and then work my way up so that it kind of tapers. And I can overlap with my other colors so that it kind of hides some of that where it's a little off. try to get my edge nice and clean. This will be easier flat on a table. Okay, so I've got my red. Next I'm gonna do orange, and we have to make up a little bit of orange. I just take a little red, stir it in with yellow, and add just a touch of weight to it. And I probably need more than that. So let me just add a little bit more yellow, a little bit more red in, and then a little bit more weight. Just so that I know I have enough. And start up here, and I can overlap onto my red some. And just keep going all the way down. And as you get down further, it's going to become a little bit wider. Make sure you don't have any gaps in between the colors. You just want to run the orange right on top of the red. That'll help fill in any gaps. So next is yellow, and I do need to clean my brush out. And a nice clean brush. And I'm going to add a little bit of white into some yellow. This just helps it not be quite as transparent. It still stays nice and bright. And with the yellow, again, just another stripe. And again, the bottom is a little bit wider. It did get a little weird here, but that's okay because the green can cover the yellow up really easy. Oops, I got orange. It's all right. So here I've got my yellow stripe. And next I'll do green. So to do green, I'm just gonna take a little bit of my yellow, a little bit, doesn't take much of this turquoise. Stir it in, it's got a nice bright green. And then again, add a little bit of white. So by now I'm gonna wanna be at least halfway across, if not a little bit better than half. And my stripes are getting a little bit wider. I just don't want to get to the end of my colors for the rainbow and have like all this extra room. So I just got blue and purple left to do. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm filling in a pretty good portion. So there's my green. And because I do have such a large portion, I'm gonna go ahead and include the indigo. So it'll be red, orange, yellow, green. I'll do like a turquoise for blue. Purple will be purple. Well, indigo, violet. Goodness gracious. So I'll do turquoise for blue. Indigo will be like a bluish purple. And then lastly, it will be purple. Sorry. So the next stripe, I'm just gonna do turquoise with a little bit of white mixed in. I want it a little darker than that. That looks good, because I don't want it to be as light as my sky area. So again, another stripe. I'll start down here, maybe a little thinner this time, just a little thinner than the green one. Can overlap a little. Ooh, a little messy. Up here is going to be covered with a cloud, so it's not that important that it looks nice and clean and even. I'm just kind of smoothing out some of the globbies I got. So next I'm gonna do like a indigo color. I'm gonna add a little bit of blue to this. A little bit more. So it's just a darker shade of blue, really. It's not really got any violet in it. If you want a little bit purpley, just add a little bit of red. Just a little. Just the smallest little smidge. And then I'll split the difference here because I will have one more stripe to do with the purple. And I'll split the difference up here. Really pretty color, I like it. Just take your time. Try to get your stripes as smooth as possible. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to do a purple stripe. And we're gonna just add to this color a little bit of red. Stir it up until you get a purple. Maybe a little bit more red. More red. Ooh, that was a lot more red. It's kind of getting kind of murky. I'm just gonna add a little bit more white to it. I'll brighten it up a little. And it's a very like bluish red, or purple right now. So we can just add more red. Hopefully. And there's so many shades of purple. You just do whatever you like. And then I'll add a little bit more white. So that looks all right to me. And everyone's will be different. And I'm just gonna fill in this last little bit of white all the way to the edge where the sky starts. Have my last stripe purple. I could maybe clean it up a little right here. I'm just trying to get my edges nice and clean, best as I can. Just take a little bit of time, just be patient. Don't be in a hurry to just get it done. All right, so that looks good. I got a nice rainbow. I'm gonna come over here and work on the sun. So I'm gonna clean out my brush. And we're going to use all of our warm colors. So like the red, the orange, the yellow, and white. And yours doesn't have to be just like mine. You can do your sun however you want. I'm gonna start with the center. I'm gonna put it in the corner. And I'm gonna use this yellow that I have white mixed into. So it was just some white paint mixed in with some yellow. And let's see, maybe about like this much. Just get your corner filled in. And then I'm going to start with some orange. And you don't need to clean out your brush. I'm gonna make up a little bit more orange though. Maybe a little bit more white. And then coming off of my sun, I'll just come down here like this. I'm just gonna put lots of wavy rays. And they kind of radiate out. So the top and the sides are kind of, this one's straight this way and this one's straight down. And then as I come around, the angle kind of changes. Careful you don't get a bunch of globs. I just had a weird glob. So I've got quite a few orange in. I'm gonna switch back over to some yellow. So I'll clean my brush. And back with the yellow. I'm gonna need quite a bit of this because this is gonna fill in a lot of my space that's open. So you see all that white? We need that filled in quite a bit more. So I'm just gonna kind of come right over top, wiggling the whole time. My brush just kind of wiggles. And I'm blending that orange into my yellow a little bit because it's wet. I want to kind of get this gap filled in right up next to the sun. So I've got a lot of yellow. I'm gonna add more orange. It's just overlapping, same wiggly lines. And if you get up on the red of your rainbow, that's fine. We can just go back over top of that red and get that covered. Now I'm just gonna take some red. So my brush doesn't really need to be cleaned out. It's just really full of all my other colors right now, so I'm just scraping it off. And then with just some red paint, you're gonna do the same squigglies. So again with some orange, just make up a little bit of orange. And instead of just squiggles like this, I'm gonna kind of do like more vibrating ones. Just to get a little bit different texture. They're just real small waves this time. So just some reds and oranges, whatever you kind of stick your brush in is fine. Maybe a little bit more yellow. I'm gonna clean up my brush so I can add a little bit more yellow. Especially down in these areas here that are still bright white. So just, I need a little bit more yellow. Yellow and white. And again with this, the vibrating lines. They're just very small squiggles. instead of loose lines, they're a lot more tight. Now we're gonna go up and kind of smooth out this edge. I'm just gonna take yellow, and this paint right here on the edge is pretty wet. So when you go over it, it's going to blend. So I'm kind of going outward, and then I'll just very light-handedly start going inward. And you can see I've got a pretty distinct line where the yellow and this kind of orange color come together. I'm gonna clean out my brush so that I don't continue to spread the orange. I want to kind of soften that so my whole sunshine doesn't turn orange. So I'm just cleaning out my brush, and I'm going to take my yellow, and I'm going to start on this side, and I'm going to start moving outward. And this smooths out that like sharp edge. So there we have our sun. Now let that dry, and then I can go back in maybe with some white just to kind of tone down some of the areas. On this side, we're going to put like the rainy sky in. So I'm going to just start with some clouds. You want a nice clean brush because we're going to be using white paint. And at the top, just with my white paint, my white's kind of getting crazy dirty with all my other colors. So just be careful. I'm just gonna kind of bring down like a cloud shape here. Maybe make that just one big bump. Clouds are all different, so whatever comes out works perfectly fine. I'm gonna have this all filled in white. Right over top of my rainbow. And this will likely need another coat just to get all those colors covered well. I'm just gonna get it coated and then just leave it alone for now. Then in the middle here a little bit, I'll add another small little cloud. And then I'll just get this little guy filled in also. So I've got this little guy, and then at the bottom I'm gonna do when it kind of comes and overlaps onto the rainbow. I need to get a little bit more white. Mine is crazy. So down here at the bottom, and one that comes just a little bit over onto this, right onto the rainbow. Just got a big lump here, whoop, and then tapers down. I'm gonna flip my canvas real quick just because I can't get in there because of my easel. Whoop. So I'm just gonna flip it up real quick and then just get this painted. Oops, I got wet crazy colors in there. Okay, so I'm gonna start another coat up here, and this time I'm gonna like blend in some blues. So I'll start just with white. So get it nice and wet, get a little bit better coverage on these colors. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of turquoise. I've got this over here that's got white blended in with it a little bit. And I'm just gonna swoop it on kind of for shadow. And maybe a little purple. You could take a little purple, just like on the very edge, because it's raining over here. We kind of want we don't want gray clouds, but we want them a little bit darker colors so they, you know, look like it's raining. I'm gonna take my dirty brush and just kind of brush it on this one. Take a little bit more white, help blend it. Get a little better coverage at the top. And then this bottom cloud, how did I get yellow? Who knows? Don't get yellow in your paint. I'm just giving this another little quick coat. And I could take some of my turquoise. You could do turquoise, purples. Just very little on your brush. And just kind of come around the edges. And then take your plain white right on top and blend it. Maybe a little bit more turquoise in these ones. So there we have clouds. Next I'm going to come in and do raindrops, and I'm going to use my smaller brush, and I'm going to make kind of a light blue color. So I've got blue, maybe I'll add some turquoise, and then I want some white. How about this dirty white? I just want this to be able to show up on my background color that is the sky over here where the clouds are painted. So that looks good to me. Doesn't have to be exactly like this. Just something that's it's light blue but dark blue. So comparatively it is much darker than I have as the sky color. And I'm just gonna put little dashed lines coming out of the clouds. I'm just gonna keep doing those all the way down to the next cloud. You can have some that actually come out of the cloud. So I'm not gonna put any on the top of this cloud here. I can overlap down at the bottom where they're coming out. And I'll just come all the way down to where that bottom cloud is. Just get this kind of filled in with little raindrops. Oh, great. So I'm just gonna come back over here to my sun, and I'm gonna use my medium brush, and I'm gonna put a little bit of white on top of that. Just because it's just so bright, I just want to tone it down a little bit. So just some white on my medium brush, and just come in and do a few of your wide squiggles that are like the loose squiggles. And you can also do the tighter, more like vibrating squiggles. And just put in as many as you want. And I'm gonna put like a swoop on my sun also. So I just kind of swoop, 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 swoop. Get some more down in here to help just kind of make it look like it's fading out. And if you, like, say, I just look at this, I'm like, oh, I got a little too white. I'm just gonna take a little bit of yellow on my dirty white brush and just kind of go back on top because I don't want that much white on it. And then, you know, you can add a little bit of the white back in. And you can just play with it till you like it. Maybe add a little orange if you want. So let's see if I just added a little bit of orange. That's kind of pretty. There, that looks cute. So next is just sign your name because you're done. If you want to go back in and maybe touch up some of your rainbow stripes, feel free. You can absolutely put more white, another coat of white up on your cloud to get that better coverage. I just want to keep the video, you know, kind of short, so I don't want to take the time to, you know, do multiple coats. So yeah, sign your name, take pictures, upload to my Facebook page, Willy-Nilly. There's a pinned post right at the top. You just find that, put your pictures in, and then I can see your work. Thank you. See you in the next video.